So yesterday I was at the Costco and I was just going about, family regular business, doing some shopping, buying some groceries, you know how it is. But there was a woman who was parked right next to us. She was unloading her products into the trunk of her Tesla Model Y, I think it was. And normally I just kind of pass by people and I don't really think much of it, but I don't know, this time around I felt like I had to ask about her story a little bit. So I just so I go up to her and I'm like, hey, what do you do for a living? Like in my head I'm like, she's got to be doing something different. I don't know why I feel like I have to talk to her. Well, turns out she was a business owner. She owned a property management business in Oregon and actually in Idaho too. But then she sold the company, and pretty much now her and her husband are, I guess, living their best life, so to speak. But I was like, wow, like I'm transitioning out of the military, and I'm looking to embark on a new chapter in my life, and I want to know about business. I want to know about the unorthodox ways, I guess, of making a living. And so she told me about her obstacles, starting a company. But as she was talking about her I guess beginning stages of her company, I couldn't help but think about all the points that she was making in my head were coming to a single point, which was taking a risk. I just think nobody, well, maybe not nobody, but a large portion maybe of the population, at least from the colleagues and whatnot that I've been around, nobody really talks about doing or starting a company, doing a business. Really just, everybody really cares about how much they're gonna get paid and the paycheck, which is cool, it's fine. But as far as taking risks, I think it's something that's kind of underrated as far as, the regular like W-2 person goes. And I get it. I mean, I suppose a lot of bad stuff can happen. But it's like, what if it turns out to be a lot better than you imagine? Like, I know this is like an simplification of things, but I can't help but think about like the benefits of taking a risk, even if it's a small risk. Like, for example, me getting on camera right now talking about this, like, the risk is, nobody watches this, and then like that's that. This video never picks up. You know what I mean? It's like nothing ever happened. There's no impact. But then it's like, what if this video finds someone out there? You watching this, if it could help you. So it's like, I don't know. I want to take that risk. I'm 24 years old. I did 6 years in the Air Force. 6.5, I guess. But it's like, I saw all these. I guess throughout my time, I had lots of downtime, and so I got interested in business. And now that I'm transitioning out of the military, it's like, now is the time to really hunker down and, I guess, take a risk. And I know there have been some other risks that I've taken. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about how, like with money, for example, I'm a natural saver. Okay, so it's like, investing in any sort of thing is pretty much like not necessarily taboo or a bad thing, but it's something that you don't really think of because, you know, it's too risky. So, you know, when I remember saving up to my first $10,000, I was like, okay, I think there's something else I can do with this $10,000. You know, like if I keep doing what I'm doing, you know, maybe I'll hit, well, not maybe, but, you know, according to the math, you know, I can hit 20,000 and whatever, like by next year, which would have been cool. But then you can't help but wonder, you know, what can you amass, you know, it faster than just how long it's, like, I guess a year. So I remember when I opened up my first brokerage account, I was deathly afraid of investments because all I ever knew was just, you know, the stocks are risky, which they can be, but, you know, if you put your money in any sort of investment of a stock, it's going to go to zero, blah, blah. So I was super scared. But then after I invested my first $40 of the 10,000, I had this like $9,960 safe net, I guess. And even then, now that I think about it, I was pushing it. But as I saw the difference in like how it kind of fluctuates and whatnot, it made me come out of my shell of taking, I guess, risk. Like Minority Mindset, Jesper Singh, he says that, you know, you're never guaranteed to make money in the stock market. And I remember first hearing that after I had invested like my first, I guess, maybe $100 now. When I first heard this, terrified me. The last thing I want to do is throw away money. But, you know, seeing the cash just sit there and then seeing, you know, these $40, $100 here in this brokerage account kind of fluctuating, tracing the market. It changed me. It changed me. So I guess to connect it to the business owner that I met in the parking lot, taking a risk is pretty valuable in the sense that you learn. So, you know, if you're still watching this, then I hope you found some value out of it. And, you know, if you're a natural saver like me, then don't be afraid to take a small risk. I mean, you have a big giant safety net, and the worst thing that can happen is you revert back to what you already know, which is just, you know, doing what you've been doing. Have a good one.